Hey, what's happening? Welcome to HTV. So, the Jurgen Klopp 2.0 rebuild is well underway. There's a big summer to come, and we're going to look at what needs to be. What are the big conversations happening at the AXA between Liverpool's, all the departments, Klopp and Linders and the scouts. What are Liverpool needing to do? So we're going to go department by department and pull in a few other bits and pieces along the way as well. If you are joining and you're not subscribed to the channel already, please do drop a subscribe, drop a like on the video as well. That would be absolutely wonderful of you. And if it sparks any thoughts in you, use the comment section underneath. So on the last show, what I did was I got up what I considered to be the zenith of Klopp 1.0. It was the 18-19 Liverpool squad, and what we did was we looked at it by age and by minutes played that season for each position. So just to reiterate what that left was the biggest used goalkeeper was Alisson, the most used centre half was Van Dijk, Robertson for left back, Trent for right back. The three midfielders were Gini, Fab and Milner for the most minutes played, and Salah, Mane, Firmino were the most. And then we did loads more in depth on that. You don't need to have watched that video to understand this one, but I would highly recommend checking it out. Just go to the channel and click it. It'll be there. It'll be the last uploaded video, probably with my face on like this prior to this. Because there's some stuff that is foundational for what we're about to discuss. But what we did was we stacked the current squad 22-23 alongside that to have a look at the age profiles and how many minutes certain types of midfielder and defender and etc. played, to do an overall kind of health check. If you consider 18-19 to be a picture of perfect health, how did 22-23 stack up? And there's some really interesting things. Just for brevity's sake, we factored that there were about 8 players potentially that need to be phased out of this current squad in the next between 1 and 3 years max. From 18-19 to now, 8 players left the squad, and Liverpool bought in 14 in that time who are obviously have played some sort of action in the season we're currently heading towards. And there are a number of players that we're starting to see sort of phased out in the current side. The biggest problem of them is Naby Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain, who at 29 and 28, or 28 and 29, should be having a far greater impact on the squad, but they're not. We all know this, but it was worth pointing out. So what I'm doing is, again, in my incredible note-taking form, let's go through Liverpool's departments and discuss what the big issues, concerns, what are the talking points. Let's start with the goalkeepers. So my overall sense is, imagine you're in the room, these players are plastered up on a board. It's like a judge's houses kind of situation. They're pinned to a pinboard. Alisson Becker's there, Caoimhín Kelleher and Adrian are on there. And for take it talking, Alisson is 30, Kelleher's 24, and Adrian is 36. What I said in the last show is I think if all 3 of those guys are happy to stick around, I'd probably keep them around. There's maybe a case you still say to Adrian, has he reached the point where, and I don't know because we've not seen him play in a while, is he still capable? And I know people have got issues with Adrian, but the point is, he can come in and he's a senior goalkeeper. If he's not, then who of the youth goalkeepers is ready to step up? And there's obviously Harvey Davies is probably the next in line, but if not, who is the youth goalkeeper? And can you have Alisson at 30, Kelleher at 24, going to 25, and then a 18 or 19-year-old youth goalkeeper who is there backing the whole thing up, possibly. Kelleher makes this conversation more interesting. He might want to leave. What I would be looking to do in the summer is one of 2 things. I would either be saying no, because you're boss and we want to keep you. One of 3 things. I would be looking at a loan deal. Is the best scenario, I think, for all. I think the best case scenario you're going to get out of Kelleher, because you don't want to run the risk of stifling him and him stagnating, is do a Thibaut Courtois 2-year loan, go and send him to a Champions League team, no championship shit, no bottom end Premier League shit, nope. Is there because he's really good, he's really good. Is there a really good side that's around the Champions League places in a good European league? Is there a Bundesliga team? Is there a French league? Is there a Ligue 1 team? Is there a, you know what I'm saying? Can you find that loan for him? If not, worst case scenario, do not let him walk out the door without a buyback option. Do not sell Kelleher unless you've got a buyback, because if you do that, you have totally, what a waste of time. No, maybe not totally, because obviously he helped to win us some domestic silverware last year. But for me, total waste of time. It's so hard to breed your own goalkeeper. I think you can, if you can just hold on for a couple of years, get a good buyback or a good loan. Alisson might, even if he stays at his level, he might just fancy a new challenge in a couple of years. And rather than go for unknown quantities and you don't know what they're like as personalities or characters, how they're integrated into the squad, make Kelleher your goalkeeper. But I don't think you can keep him at Anfield for 2 years, hoping that will happen, because there's not enough football. To the point, he made 3 appearances this season, 300 minutes. It's not enough. Not enough. He's going to end up. He will be a worse goalkeeper if he stays in that environment. So something might need to be done there, and then that boils the question: is Harvey Davies ready to just take his role in the squad, or do we need to go and buy 2 goalkeepers, or do we need to buy 1 goalkeeper? Do we have a youth player who can be the 3rd choice, and we need to buy the 2nd choice? That is a big question mark what Liverpool need to be do there, but it comes off the back of a conversation. Left back, Robbo will need phasing out. That compared to 18-19, we mentioned this on the last show, he's playing less minutes because we've got a good, capable understudy in Tsimikas, so you're not running him into the ground. To go from 4,200 minutes to 3,300-ish minutes this season, that is the right track for Andy Robertson, and that's so. If you can keep Tsimikas around, fine. I think in the next 2 or 3, what you're hoping is, what is someone like Luke Chambers, is someone like Owen Beck, are they capable, or do we need to start thinking medium term, who's the next Liverpool left back coming in? But I don't think it's a priority this summer. Right back, do we have anyone capable of understudying Trent? That is a big question, because if his role has changed, what does that mean? What does that mean for the guys who can play right back? What does that mean for Connor Bradley? What does that mean for Calvin Ramsey? What does that mean for Joe Gomez? What does it mean for James Milner? These are guys who've all played right back for Liverpool, but can they play right back where you're playing it as an inverted fullback and effectively playing in midfield for the whole time? Do we have a midfielder who can go the other way? So when he's in the midfield role, he's functionally performing similar to Trent, but he's also defensively capable enough that actually they're playing exactly the same role, but maybe it's looking at it from the other angle. I think, for me, can Stefan Bajcetic do that? That is a question I'd be asking, because if you're going to persist with Trent playing like that, I think Trent with Bajcetic as his understudy, you might be fine. And then can you do some jiggly pokery, whereas maybe Ramsey plays as a fly-in right back, and then someone can do the similar thing from the left back, but that's where you start to get a little bit complicated. Do we know if Gomez is a fit or not is a big question as well. Okay, centre-back. We need to begin to phase Virgil van Dijk out. The fact that he, again, has played more minutes than any Liverpool centre-half, as was the case 4 years ago. That's fine 4 years ago when he's 26, 27 years old. That's fine. He's 31 now. We need to be careful of him. He's world class, but he can't be playing 2 or 3 times a week. That needs to be considered. So we need to get a left-sided centre-half in. For me, that's a big part of that. Can Joe Gomez do this is a big question, because he looks to have the composure. He's good on the ball. He's a really good footballer, Joe Gomez. What is he? Is Joe Gomez the Trent understudy? Is he the Konate understudy, or is he the Virgil van Dijk understudy? And he can do a bit of all, by the way. But what I want to say is, whichever least suits Gomez, buy for that position. So if he's Van Dijk's understudy, fine, he's Van Dijk's understudy, make him that. Go and buy a Konate understudy. Because I think Matip will need to be phased out, by the way. I think he'll let Matip go this summer. So we need a centre half. if Gomez is a perfect understudy for Canate, buy a Virgil van Dijk understudy. There we go. I think that makes sense. Gomez is, by the way, is a great age. At 25 years old, I know he's had injury problems, and there are sort of little concerns around the consistency on him, but he's fast, he's really good on the ball, and he can play in multiple positions, and he's English. There's no need to move Gomez on. If you move Gomez on, if you're choosing the centre half to move on, it would be a foolish for me to move him on. If he wants to move, then I still think you let Matip go and him go, and then you have to go and buy two. That's my thoughts on that anyway. Right, midfield. Are we going back at any point to 4-3-3? That is my first question. I'm walking into the room, sat down the X, and I'm turning to Jurgen and Pep. I'm head of the recruitment team, and I'm saying, right, guys, are we going to play a standard 4-3-3 again? Because that's important for the makeup of who we go and buy. Or are we persistent with playing a box midfield with an inverted right back who's effectively covering in alongside the sixth position as well? And the big question mark over an individual player is, do we stick or twist on Fabinho? Medical department, coaching department, what is your take on Fabinho? Guys, you play this role for me in the comments. You're the medical department. Be a medical department, be the coaching department. I'm coming to you and saying, can Fabinho get back to a level, or is this his level now? Because if this level that he's been at this season is his new top, he needs to be replaced. Flat out replaced. However, if he's capable of getting better than this level, and for example, if you can take 1,000 minutes off him or 1,500 minutes off him, will you want that? And will you get a better Fabinho for that? And if that is the case, that will inform how I buy in central midfield. So if he can recover to a decent level, and having someone to help rotate with him will help that, I buy a young understudy this summer. I go out and buy someone who's aged between 19 and maybe 20, 19, 20, 21, maybe even 18 if they're exceptional. If he's done, Liverpool need to go out immediately and buy a senior age, 23 to 20, 26 is the very, very most, but in reality, yeah, that 23 to 26-year-old ready-made replacement for him. And then you need to have a conversation around maybe a cheaper option. Does Fabinho, can he be the understudy? Can you keep him around for that? Or do you have a kid who can do that? But that's my question mark. Can Fabinho still be a useful member of this Liverpool squad on reduced terms? In which case, I think you can save yourself a bit of money, go and get a young lad, and then next year he's ready to fully take over from Fabinho, and then you move Fabinho on. Otherwise, if the answer is no, sell him this summer, because that's a huge sort of, we're heading towards an iceberg with that, I think, if that's the case. Particularly because he's 29, and this is Liverpool's biggest issue, by the way, is Oxlade-Chamberlain again 29, Keita 28, Fabinho 29. That should be Liverpool's first choice midfield, and it's no one's fault for a variety of reasons. But if injuries and form if they've reached all they're going to get out of that, that means you've got to replace that, and unfortunately that leaves you with Henderson and Thiago 32 plus, Milner 37, having far too much reliance. These actually weirdly the guys that you need to replace. It should be the other way around. These guys should be fine, and you should be replacing Henderson and Thiago. But right now, I'm asking Henderson and Thiago again with a bit more protection, a bit more rotation for them. I see no reason to move either of those on unless you got a significantly impressive offer for them. But in terms of how they conduct themselves as professionals, how good they are in the technical aspects, I think there's benefits for them to rub off to the guys around them. And again, they'll want to, if we can tell them, slightly reduced minutes, slightly reduced workload is going to get better out of you in the games that you do play. I think that's the selling point for them. But if they are the senior choices, if you're still looking at a world where Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson is your best midfield three, you need to start thinking about who the long-term replacements for Henderson and Thiago are. And I'm appreciative, I'm saying this in the room, there's only so much money to spend, and right now I don't think you can replace Fabinho, Ox, Keita, Henderson and Thiago in one transfer window. That is insane. It should have been underway already, and again, Ox and Keita should have they were bought to make this less of a problem. Life's a shithouse. Let's deal with it. Look at Real Madrid. You get to keep Kroos and Modric and then ultimately sell Casemiro because you've brought in Camavinga, Tchouaméni and Valverde. That good work in the transfer market means you get to keep the brilliant older players and let them have all the impact that they do, but they don't have to be, your squad isn't, your first 11 is not ultra dependent on anymore. That's what we need to be working towards. And one big question on Thiago, which I don't know the answer to, and it ties in with the 4-3-3 question. Where does Thiago play in the box midfield? Does he play in one of the advanced positions, or is he a 6? Because if he's neither, sell him. If he can't play where Curtis Jones has played as that attack left of the kind of attacking mids, and he's not capable to swap with Fabinho, say, then you might as well sell him because you've changed the formation. It doesn't fit anymore. You might need to be ruthless in that regard. My overall take on the midfield thing is, if you can position him with a box midfielder, could you rotate Thiago and Fabinho for the 6? So you're effectively splitting that role between the two of them with maybe a little bit of help from Bajcetic in there. Are Bajcetic and Trent then the analogues to play the inverted right back, outverted midfielder? Maybe. You're looking at potentially, if unless Thiago is in consideration for this, Curtis Jones, someone like an Alexis McAllister for that left-hand side, and then for the right-hand side, Jordan Henderson, Harvey Elliott, and like a Mason Mount. That feels to me like you'd have a lot of options and boxes ticked, and that might be enough to tide us over for one more season while you think on what to do. But again, that's based on the questions that I've asked. You've got to ask a question of Fabinho, and you've got to have a question's got to be asked about Thiago and possibly Jordan Henderson as well. I don't think you can replace all of those. As I say, you can't buy 5 midfielders this summer. But I do think, to go back to what we talked about on the last episode, Curtis Jones, if he can get over his injury problems, that will help shoulder the burden. Even if he just becomes a good, solid, dependable squad member, doesn't necessarily need to be an absolute worldie. If he can just be a good lad to come in and play a bit more footy, and again, just share the burden, do half an hour here, play 60 minutes here, make sure you're brilliant, nailed on, match-winning, game-changing guys aren't being played for 4,500 minutes a season, then that's absolutely cool. And again, Elliott's development, Bajcetic's development should aid with all of that. And who knows what's happening with Carvalho? I haven't got a clue. And potentially maybe a little bit more of Bobby Clark and Tyler Morton, because I have got a couple more very quick questions on this. And again, it goes back to the point of development. Harvey Davies, Bobby Clark, Tyler Morton, Cade Gordon, Ben Doak, Owen Beck, Luke Chambers, and Connor Bradley. There's 8 footballers there who might be able to have a growing impact on the squad next season. I wouldn't be building the side around any of them, no. But who of those are capable of taking a squad space? Can one of them or 2 of them take the roles from Keita or Ox or, like a Matip or a whatever? They're big questions that I don't have the answers to, but these are the conversations that need to be happening. I think will be happening right now in the AXA, but certainly, hypothetically, if like the window opens, let's have it from that moment onwards. What do you think? What do you think about that? Anything that you think I've glaringly overlooked, let me know in the comment section underneath. I think we'll know a bit more. We've got, at time of recording, there's 5 sort of games left to play. I think by the end of the season, there'll be a much clearer picture. I think in a week's time, 2 weeks' time, we will know far more what Liverpool are looking to do on the pitch, and that will start to shape what use we can get out of existing squad members and what needs to be brought in the summer, particularly when it comes to that midfield shape. That is huge, because again, the Thiago, Henderson, Fabinho, what role do they have to play moving forward is a big question to be asked, and we'll have to see on that. But yes, there you go. Let me know. Anything else you'd like me to discuss around Liverpool squad? I'm going to start to do more regular videos for the rest of the season, so any topics you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. Do drop a like And yes, do please come and check out our live show. We're doing a live quiz on the 5th of May at Hotel Anfield, Friday night mayhem. Some quiz, some trivia, games, parties, songs, music. It's going to be amazing. If you want to have a good, fun night out, just de-stress, then please do come and party with us. I'll put the link in the description. I'll play it out on the advert so you can get some more details from older me. Past Paul will tell you more. And other than that, have an absolutely wonderful time. Hopefully the Reds can continue to put smiles on our faces, but if not, I'll try my best to do it for them. Anyway, up the Reds.
Hey, stop what you're doing right now. Prepare yourself, prepare your family, prepare your kids, prepare your babysitters, because on Friday the 5th of May, we are having a quiz night, party night at Hotel Anfield, and the tickets are available right now, but your time to get them is running very, very short. If you like Liverpool trivia, if you like Liverpool songs, if you like just laughter and happiness in your life, then come down to Hotel Anfield on Friday the 5th of May. The tickets are available right now on Ticket Quarter. The link will be there or thereabouts. Get involved, get your tickets bought, and come and party with us. It's going to be Liverpool trivia, it's going to be Liverpool games, Liverpool challenges, it's going to be amazing prizes on offer, and Dave Jaggs from the Ragamuffins is going to be playing live music as well. So come and join me, Chris Pajak, for the biggest party night in advance of the Liverpool-Brentford game. And yeah, maybe win yourself some boss prizes, have a good time, and put some smiles back on some red faces.